So there are merfolk, and they snatch babies? What show are we watching? Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis, breakdown of Season 2, Episode 5 of Raised by Wolves. We're going to get into this, but first I want to do a shout out to Episode 5. Oh, how I wished I could have reviewed you. That was a beautiful episode. The cinematography, the direction, it felt like it's isolated episode of a horror movie, a well-done sci-fi horror movie in the vein of Alien, something like that. I really wished I could have had an opportunity to get into it, but of course I've been away from my duties as a YouTuber, but I am back with a vengeance. And before we go any further, let's say if you like this content, if you like what the Fat Mantis is bringing to you, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to tell your friends, pass this along, share this experience. This is not Fight Club, so you don't keep it to yourself. Now, getting into episode 6, there are 3 major storylines or things that affect what's going on, and it has to do with all our predictions. The first one is the grandmother storyline, which very much has to do with mother, father, and, of course, young Campion, who seems to be the real true catalyst of grandmother. Now, if you notice, grandmother in previous episodes seemed catatonic or would just stand there, having almost slim to none communications or encounters with anybody else. Now, however, in last episode, young Campion was running through the forest and he saw the blinding light, angelic fires in the sky, which made him believe in Saul. That was none other than grandmother. She was willing to move to go and help young Campion. Now, in this episode, when he actually encounters her full build, it is him who, by touching her, revitalizes her, wakes her up, and puts her into her gold-bodied version, almost like the opposite of the dark bronze metallic form of Mother when she turns into Lamia. Now, I think we've seen this on the internet. This is not an original theory, but the idea is that she is the goddess or android of life, where Mother is the android of death, and will serve as the exact opposite. It would seem that her powers of, I believe it was called biotechnics, I totally mispronounced that, by the way, seems to inspire life. It increased or accelerated the growth of Tempest's baby's growth in her stomach and made her time waiting for it to be born shortened, as well as other crazy feats. Now, it's interesting that Campion should say the following things. He said, with this technology, Mother, we could grow anything. Fortresses, ships, giant androids. Now, it's very interesting that he should say that, because I don't know if you've noticed, but Campion, being a very special young boy, has the bardic tongue. What is the bardic tongue? The bardic tongue is used a lot in Game of Thrones. It's when a character says something that's nonchalant and somehow they're really psychic or they're a predictor and they're actually foreshadowing for us future events. Now, he's already done this multiple times, and we're going to get in later on in this video about times he's done it, because it had a few of those times had to do with this episode. But he actually says this, and it's interesting because I think we've all heard the theories that season 1 had a lot to do about the Book of Enoch. That's one of the Deuterocanon books left out of the Bible, and in it is the story of how angels and humans mated and created a new species, the Nephilim, who were a race of giants. It's interesting that all those connections were already there, because as he says, giant androids, I believe that we are going to encounter a species of giant androids. That's right, the giants are coming. You just wait and see, man. This is happening. Now, grandmother seems to have interesting abilities. Obviously, control, or should I say, the ability to heal and rejuvenate life. That's pretty interesting too. But also, she seems to have some sort of control over electromagnetism. And it would appear that her presence is the thing that's allowing the soul or the voice to recommunicate with our humans, which is what inspired Sue. This is fascinating. Can't wait to see where this is headed. Next, we've got the Merman. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Now, this show is at its best when it's at its weird. Full throttle weird is the best way Raised by Wolves needs to be, and I absolutely adored that this happened in here. Now, we've got a distraught We've got a distraught Tempest, not knowing what to do with her baby. She is not ready for it. I believe that her original plan was to go by the shore, and when the swirling acid water appears, she was going to toss her baby right into there. And so this show is sick enough to do that kind of stuff. Infanticide. She seems desperate. Seems totally in line with her character. And what should happen? She's born. It's born. The baby's born. She looks at it, and you can tell she's starting to have second thoughts. She can't really do it. But rising out of the murky depths is a giant 8-foot-tall merman. Now, it's interesting, the merman's appearance. He does look similar to the other undersea creatures that have been coming out. They're 4-legged, actually. But if you notice, those creatures look like aquatic versions of the de-evolved humans that the cast was eating in season 1. And I believe that their evolution doesn't just go up or down, it can go sideways. And I believe these under-evolved creatures evolved into sea creatures, and that their final form is that big merman. Who he serves or what he is all about, I have no idea. It is a possibility that he works for Grandmother, or was summoned by Grandmother, perhaps to protect the future children of this land. It's also pretty interesting that the child was not burning up from the acidic waters that were on them. Now, they made note to make sure that Tempest felt the burn. We heard the sizzle and she felt the pain, but when it touched and picked up with its wet hand the baby, nothing seemed to be going on. It's possible that the baby was evolving in her stomach already, like things seem to do on this planet. So, mermen. That just happened. Alrighty. Next, we're going to move on to the Tree of Knowledge subplot. Now, I love and hate this subplot, and I was floored when it ended, and I really don't know where it's going or what they are doing at this point. But the Tree of Knowledge plot had to do with Sue and her faith, her reuniting with her family when they free Marcus, and them all coming together. And they had finally a beautiful moment as a family. The faux parents and their beautiful son all together having a lovely campfire. No longer is he with Decima or some other floozies. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. And then what should happen? She's singing that lullaby, and like a fantasy story, it opens up the hexagon device, and it has a seed in it. The seed buries itself in her hand, forcing her to go dig herself into the ground, become the roots, and I'm guessing the essence of the tree, and grow the Tree of Knowledge. Essentially killing one of the best characters we've had. I love Sue, whether she's an atheist or a believer. Her strengths are a million in all of them. I really have enjoyed her, and I didn't care for her decimation, or I didn't care for her leaving, or the implications of that. I'm thinking that maybe when Marcus eats of the fruit of it, he's going to start having hallucinations, like her spirit will be with him forever. I hope that happens. Like I said, I don't like Raised by Wolves when it's all about visions, so I really hate psychedelic visions in this, particularly in this show. But I will do anything to keep that actress who plays Sue around. Now, it's interesting that the plot line of their religion seems to be the opposite of the Bible. Do you notice that in the story, Soul is helped by a snake, but in regular Judeo-Christianity, the snake is evil and a bad guy. In regular Christianity, you're not supposed to eat the fruit of the Tree of Knowledge, because that's you trying to gain enough knowledge to be like a god. However, in this is the thing that will set you free. I think it's interesting. And like, are they following through the legend of the Satanic Bible, a reverse-ism to our regular Bible? I don't know where this is headed, but I am fully signed on to it. So there you go. There you have my breakdown of episode 6 of Raised by Wolves Season 2. What did you guys think? What are your predictions? Oh, another prediction? That snake is going to eat that tree. They really point out that it's all about being an herbivore, and it only eats plants, and it's massive. I think it's going to eat that tree, but we will find out. But what did you guys think? Please let me know all your theory crafting down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and to keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more shenanigans, reviews, analysis, and all the comic book nerdisms you need in this life. Till next time, ciao. For now, bitches.